Happy Thanksgiving, friends! Surprisingly, the festivities of the holiday continue with another humorous family. I'm talking about the Simpsons, who shocked us all this past Sunday with their first ever Thanksgiving of horror. Because, as Marge points out,
that one holiday just wasn't enough to contain all the frights and chills.
So is this holiday special a spooky Thanksgiving presentation that's actually good, or just another rotten turkey? Let's find out. We open with Marge introducing the special just like she used to in the early Treehouse of Horror specials, and in good Simpsons fashion, they don't shy away from some stinging commentary.
We are taking over your planet. Is this not how oppressive colonizers dress?
Pretty much.
This is a show that doesn't let Americans kid themselves, even on Thanksgiving. Well, we then get our first story, a Gobble. Try saying that 3 times fast. Our main cast members, along with various other Springfielders, are all turkeys doing their normal Simpsons things just with a lot more Gobble Gobble. The actors do a great job in portraying their true characters just speaking and moving like turkeys, which makes for some amusing sequences. This normal day in Turkey Springfield is ruined when Maude takes a buckshot to the face, revealing that this day is the first Thanksgiving, and the Pilgrims are on the hunt for their dinner. The segment presents good terror because it's all from the perspective of the turkeys who are about to be slaughtered. It's also a very fast-paced segment as shit quickly hits the fan in Pilgrim Village, all because of a turkey running without its head and Milhouse being, well, Milhouse. The village burns, a murder of crows go Hitchcock on Eddie and Lou, and we soon find Homer and Bart running for their lives from a drugged-up Wickham. It's kind of wacky, over-the-top gore fest you'd expect from a Simpsons horror special, and it's just as entertaining. A great opening story for this Thanksgiving episode. The second story is the fourth Thursday after tomorrow. Like past stories such as House of Wax, this story is set in a not-too-distant future where advances in our technology let us create artificial people to do our work for us. Only instead of Pierce Brosnan as a smart house, we've got a virtual Marge to do all the cooking. This segment is more dialogue-driven in the story and jokes. To that end, it is funny in its self-awareness and play on words jokes, even though some parts can get a little weird. Thanksgiving itself kinda feels like an afterthought in this one, though I must admit Homer is right about the concept being chillingly plausible.
It's chillingly plausible. Ooh.
The story isn't as funny as the first or third, but works as a middle story to balance out the pacing of the episode because it's slower. Finally, we get our third story called The Last Thanksgiving. It's an obvious satire of space movies set after some kind of Earth apocalypse. And even that backstory is nice, sarcastic Simpsons absurdity.
We eliminated fossil fuels and reduced pollution, cooling down the planet, and thereby triggering a massive ice age.
I'd like to see climate change deniers use that with a straight face. Well, the kids have been woken up from hypersleep to do chores, but instead decide to have their own Thanksgiving celebration using their dehydrated food. Bart comes across a can of cranberry jelly and decides to duplicate it so there's enough for everyone. Unfortunately, the duplication process goes wrong and turns the jelly into a gelatinous blob that eats people's bones. Wait a minute. I'm nothing but bones!
Hey Bones! Joseph is making cranberry sauce to go with Thanksgiving dinner. You want...
Keep that cranberry away from me!
You could have just said no, jerk.
Well, with this horrific beast on the loose, Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse have to stop it from killing everyone, which of course they fail to do. It's not Thanksgiving without a massacre. As they try to escape, the nerdy Martin reveals himself as the crazy guy who admires the blob, because there's always one of those, let's face it. After hurling the blob into space, the Simpson kids escape to a nearby planet and reunite with their parents. But one more twist! The blob comes back as rain and prepares to attack! Until the natives use some kind of powers, I'm not sure what, to turn the blob into sauce again, thus creating the perfect Thanksgiving feast. But the credits have one more Thanksgiving scare. A replay of the Bart Simpson Macy's parade float with creepy music. That's all. But it works, mainly because the balloon looks creepy as hell. Sheesh, I can see why they don't use it anymore. But it's cool to see the producers willing to point out how creepy it was and make fun of it. So that was the first ever Simpsons Thanksgiving horror special. It does for Thanksgiving what the Treehouse of Horror does for Halloween. It's simply a way to celebrate this holiday with a fun horror anthology episode. Sure, there are a few points that fall flat, but overall this episode is very entertaining. Makes me hope that someday the show does the same thing for other holidays like Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, and Easter. If you want to watch it tonight after your family dinner, you can stream it on Hulu or buy it on iTunes. Happy Turkey Day, friends! It's time for me to enjoy my Thanksgiving dinner.